Am I in frame? I have no idea. Let's not worry about it, because all I'm here to say is I made Luke Skywalker's Return of the Jedi jacket, and I filmed a portion of it, and I'm going to show it to you guys. If you want to see, like, coherent information about this jacket, please check out my sewing blog.
I'm a monster. I'm a monster.
So, ooh, it is very yellow. So, I cut all the pieces I'm going to need for Luke. I'm making view B, but I didn't cut out all the pieces for view B because I'm not attaching the bottom half of the jacket. So, I think it's like 3 or 4 pieces that I omitted. I'm not going to use, which is fine. It reaches my waist, so that's how long it needs to be for both costumes I'm making with this pattern. It's good. So what I need to do now is, before I cut out my fabric, I want to iron every single one of these paper pieces so that they have no buckles or wrinkles in them, which is something I learned in high school when I was taking textile and design. And you do this because it completely flattens your piece, and you're not accidentally like shorting yourself when you're cutting your pattern by like half an inch, or even like every little bit counts. So please iron your pattern pieces before you cut your fabric. Trust me, in the long run it will make life easier for you. You won't waste as much fabric. You won't have weird fit issues that don't make sense. Please trust me. Please do this. So now I'm just pinning my cutout pattern pieces to my fabric. This is a black suiting cotton. I forget exactly how much of this fabric I have. I want to say it's like 7 yards. It might be more. I originally bought this to make a suit for my Lone Power costume from the Young Wizard series. But then I didn't end up needing it because I had all the pieces existing already in my closet to make the costume. But it was fine because you can never have too much black cotton, and it's the perfect color and weight to use for my Luke Skywalker. So I just have to pin and cut these out tonight is the goal. I also have to cut this out of silver for the inside of his jacket, because when the jacket is folded back a little bit, you see that the lining is silver. I'm not going to line the whole jacket in the silver because I don't have enough, but just the front panel will be silver. I honestly hate pinning. I should just invest in pattern weights. I tell myself that every time I make a project, and I just don't do it. I will give pinning a shot until I get frustrated, and then I'll use... What did I use last time? I'll probably end up using shoes again. I seem to always just end up using shoes or soda bottles or something equally ridiculous, I'm sure. Don't be like me, kids. Pin your stuff. And I have given up on the pinning. I'm now using my pin cushion as a pattern weight. This is the last one I need to cut out anyway for now. I forgot to cut out of my paper pieces the collar for this jacket, which is like a really important part of the jacket. So I have to get my pattern envelope out and recut that, but I'm not going to do that tonight because it's late and I'm tired. So I'm going to finish cutting this out, and that'll be done for tonight. I will cut the lining out another day. So I forgot to cut this collar piece out when I was cutting out all my other fabric, and it's the only piece that needs to be cut on a fold, and I need to cut 2 of them, but I am lazy, so I'm going to cheat. Here's my fabric. There's my fold. Now normally you put normally you would lay the fabric on the fold, pin, cut, unpin, this piece, repin it onto fabric, cut again. Too lazy for that. So here's my fold. Make sure the two folded edges line up. And now I'm going to pin it and then cut it, and then I will have cut two on the fold pieces. Obviously, I'm not going to do it exactly like this because this is a lot of wasted fabric. I'm going to properly adjust it so that I'm not wasting a lot of fabric, but this was just to show you my one-handed method. So I'm feeling a little bit defeated at this point. I feel defeated because I attached the sleeves and they looked great, but then I put the jacket on and I discovered that the shoulders were too broad, the seam goes all the way over, and then it just droops down my arm, so I had to rip off the sleeves that I had painstakingly pleated by eye and hand off of my jacket, and now I have to find a way to adjust the size of the jacket because it's too big in the shoulder, but if I take in from the side it'll be too small, so I have to do some fussing to get that to fit right, and then I'll have to adjust my lining pieces so they will fit right when I put them together, and then I have to put the sleeves back in. And I'll probably have to change the size of the sleeves too. The first trailer for The Last Jedi came out yesterday, and so I've been newly inspired to work on... Thank you, computer. To work on Luke Skywalker's costume. So I'm gonna get cracking at that again. I decided the other day to use this belt for Luke's belt that he wears. I originally bought this at Goodwill with a bunch of other things to use for Jyn Erso. This was going to be the belt that goes around her waist because it's the perfect width and length, and when I put it on my hips at an angle it fits perfectly. But the problem is Jyn's belt is brown, not black, so I'm just going to use this one for Luke and find a different belt for Jyn. It shouldn't be that difficult. This is the perfect length and width for Luke. The only thing I'm going to really have to do is paint all these rivets black because they're really obnoxious, and I have to change the orientation of the belt buckle because it should be going more this way, like that, instead of the way it is right now, like this. So I'm going to have to change that. I have to cover it with silver, and then Luke's belt has a couple little like silver bits and bobs on it, as almost all Star Wars belts do. So there's that. That's how much extra off the sides. I think what I'm going to try to do is take it in like this, so that I still have this much on the side, and my armholes are pretty much the same, but I don't know. So yeah, I lined up, I put pins in the shoulders, and then just this is lining up to see if I'm taking the same amount off on each side, and it's about 3 inches. I have this sleeve, and the problem with this sleeve is that I sewed it wrong. So both pairs of sleeves that I have are for the right arm. It is so hard to see anything because it's all just black on black and there's like no detail. But the shoulders have been adjusted to the right size. I fixed this sleeve and both sleeves are attached. Oh, the sleeves are attached. Alright, so I've pinned the lining to the outer shell, right sides together, and I'm now just sewing all the way along the side and top edges, leaving the bottom exposed because I'm going to turn it all right side out that way. So like me and this jacket are not friends. I don't know if you've like picked up on that or anything, but like we're not friends. Every time I try to work on it, something happens. So where I am with the jacket as of this minute. The lining is sewn in. I top stitched around the whole edge of the garment. See a little bit of it in the gray, but hopefully not a lot once it's worn. And then, because I'm getting really sick of this outfit, I just sewed the lining at the armholes to the outer shell's armholes, because I didn't make lining sleeves because I don't know. In my continued quest to be done with this jacket, I didn't even trim the bottom so that it was all even. I just tucked and did a super narrow pin, which is why in some spots you get little gaps like this where it's like doo-doo, a little wave, but I don't care. It's going to be covered by the belt, and I also want to be done. But I'm using my... Oh, let me turn off the light for you friends. I'm going to use my invisible zipper foot to hem it, because I want to get super, super up close to the very, very edge. So yeah, I mentioned this on Instagram at one point, but if you want to do a super, super little hem because you're a lazy bastard like I am, use your invisible zipper foot. So the jacket is done. I don't have words, honestly. It needs a press. It stays closed with 2 hooks on this side and then 2 hooks here, and then their corresponding bars so that when it's on, it pulls like flat across. And then the top stays closed with these 2 snaps, and I think I'm going to take this set off because it looks good flat with both sets and it folded like this, but when I wear it, it does this weird pull thing, which is part of the fit issue from when I had to adjust the pattern at the shoulders. But it looks fine when it's just the 1 snap, so I think I'm going to remove these. But it's done. It's hemmed. He's a little short. He might need an extender panel on the bottom just because he's a little bit shorter than anticipated, but I'm not worried because he's beautiful and it feels incredible to put him on. In fact, let me put it on for you. So this is the jacket. The jacket is done. Oh my god. So this is pretty much the costume. I've got the boots and the pants on. I need to get a better glove. This is a stand-in. This is a just random opera glove. And then I need to put silver on my belt and get the right lightsaber. But then, like, Luke is done. Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker is done. I cannot describe to you what it feels like wearing this. The fit is a little weird here and a little short at the midsection. I might make, like, a little bit of a fabric extender panel just to make it a little bit longer so it doesn't ride up. But other than that, it's perfect. The closures work the way I planned them to, so it's like really easy to take on and off, just like that. And then I just wear this black turtleneck under, and I cannot describe what it feels like to be done this jacket. I'm just like, amazing. Amazing. Okay, so keep an eye on my sewing Instagram and my sewing blog if you want to see finished photos of this when I finish the belt and I get the lightsaber. And if you want to see like more in-depth how I did things right up, that'll be on my sewing blog. And yeah, I might do another one of these videos for future costumes. I have a list that I'm working on. Jinner shows next because I just keep on that Star Wars train, but like, thanks for watching.